another opportunity.
Yes.
To sit behind this sacred desk, so we say amen.
Amen.
To preach
bless
the
your name, God.
uncompromising gospel.
Yes.
Lord, we ask that you give us strength
Yes, Lord.
from on high.
Yes, Lord.
That these your children would see less of me
Yes,
and more
Lord.
of you.
Yes.
We pray that something would be said,
Oh, my God.
something done to encourage your children.
Yes. Help us today,
Something that
Lord.
will uplift your children.
Yes.
Something that will give
Help us
them what
today,
they
Holy
need,
Ghost.
not
Yes.
only throughout this week, but throughout their lives.
Yes, Lord.
Bless right now.
Oh,
Lord.
bless, Lord.
Do
Bless, Lord.
what you do. Let
Yes.
your children, let your people see less of me
Yes.
and more of you.
Yes, Lord.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Lord.
We
Thank you, Lord.
serve
Yes.
an awesome God.
Yes. We do.
But y'all, God has spoken.
Yes. Let the church say amen.
Let the church say amen.
Amen. Bless that show.
And let all of us who believe, Lord,
Yeah, Lord.
in our Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ.
Yes.
Amen. Y'all, I know I told y'all earlier, but I gotta tell you again, man. Y'all sure do look good to me.
All right.
Yeah, y'all look real good.
Amen.
Amen. I want you to know that Pastor K.W. Steen love you with all of his heart.
Praise God.
Amen.
Love you, Pastor.
Amen.
Amen.
Y'all believe that?
Amen.
I tell you what, let somebody mess with you. Let somebody mess with you. Y'all see? Just put your money together so you can get me out of jail. All right? I might get out. They might not do too bad since I ain't been in trouble before, so it might not be bad. But I love me some New Jerusalem.
Amen.
And you look very, very well. And I'm honored that God allowed me and let me, and I'm privileged to be your pastor.
Amen.
I just need for you to know that.
Amen.
Amen. How many of you got our seat back?
Amen.
Man, let's go to Job for a moment.
Job.
Job, that first chapter in Job, and look at the last verse, verse 22. Job 1 and 22. Amen. Job 1 and 22, we will be reading from the King James Version. Job 1 and 22, you'll find these words recorded. In all this, Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishness. Amen? You may be seated. We want to talk about, for a moment, in the aftermath of storms.
Uh-oh.
Come on now. Come on.
In the aftermath of storms.
Amen.
What do you do when you suffer a significant loss? Immediately, many of us are focused on the physical damage that incurred. In a flood, we see homes underwater, roads turned into rivers, an entire neighborhood reduced to a pile of rubbish. In fire, we see burned dwelling homes and other buildings, smoke and ashes. It does not matter whether where the storm comes from, either if it's in the form of a flood, a hurricane, tornadoes, earthquake, or wildfire. In any way that it happens, it has a massive impact on our lives. The first responder is to pick up, our first respond is to pick up the pieces. To pick up the pieces and repair the damage if possible. That's the damage that we can see. But there are sinkholes in storms. After the storm, there's some sinkhole that one are not able to see. And once they get there, they fall into it unaware because they didn't see it. So they're smothering when there's fire. The fire sometimes can smother and linger on. And we think that the fire may be out, but there still may be a little flame within that we cannot see. And so it challenged us emotionally and as survivors. And how do we escape from this thing that is in a storm? When we have storms, some folks survive and some don't. When we're in a storm, things happen when we're in the storm. But in the aftermath of the storm, because we all are going to have some storms in our lives.
Yes, amen.
But what do we do in the aftermath of the storm?
Yes.
Survivors, they react in varieties of ways. We all are different, and we react and respond in different ways when we are in a storm, a crisis. Some include shock and numbness and denial. So after a while, if left unattended, these immediate reactions can turn into anger. They can turn into frustration, anxiety, depression, and despair. A storm can leave you hopeless. And so people who have lost loved ones and they lost their homes and they lost keepsake. If you're in a fire and you lose all of your pictures, the pictures that remind you of the things that you have experienced, that can cause a whole lot of heartache, can cause a whole lot of sadness in our life. But an entire lifetime of memories have been lost that can be devastating to us because it was just swept away in a storm.
Yes.
With these losses come grief and come feeling of powerless, not able to do other intense and unpredictable emotion. Many feel guilty that they survived while others in their family were lost. And they don't understand why. Soldiers experience this all the time when they are on the battlefield and their buddy next to them. But in the same storm they were in, one survived and the other didn't. It messes with their head and their mind. They are depressed and troubled. But then there's the two-headed monster that we call fear and worry. Everybody know about them two-headed monster? That monster will come along and he'll say that we are fearful. And so without income, how do I pay my bill after a fire? And I didn't have insurance. Then I begin to worry. I begin to have fear. How do I feed my children? How do I get a place to live for my family?
All right.
The aftermath of a storm. And when we are worrying and depending on how we may be able to get help, we begin to reflect on the physical symptoms that might intune us. Y'all do know when you worry, you have headaches sometimes.
Yes, sir.
you sometimes are nauseous and you have pain in your belly. But some find it hard to concentrate when you're in trouble. When you worry, you can't think right, y'all.
My God.
When you worry. You can't see straight when you're fearful.
All right.
So when the storm comes, the faithful respond differently than other folks.
My.
While others pick up the pieces, the faithful say, thank God for what's left. Yeah, they know that they have lost some things, but they still thank God for what's left.
Yes.
And they begin to immediately weld the pieces, the broken pieces, back together and to create some new experience because they know that they serve a God that will help them in every situation of their lives.
All right.
Their strength comes from the knowledge of knowing God. Do I got any folks in here that know that God can make a way out of nowhere?
Want to do it?
They know Him. And when you know God and you know what you know and you know whom you belong to, then it does not matter because you know it ain't what it looks like. It may look bad, it may look like I'm defeated, but it ain't over until it's over. And when I serve God, it's never over. When I serve a God that loves me. And so we thank God for what is left. Their strength comes. Your strength and my strength. It should come from the knowledge that God has not forsaken us. Sometimes it seems that He may have left us, but God never leaves us alone. He never leaves us alone. He helps us to climb from the sinkhole, to get out of the sinkhole and sift the ashes from the fire and prepare us for the life to come. So we are consoled. We are consoled that physical losses can be restored. And we thank God for that physical losses can be restored, but from time to time we have to get together with our loved ones. And we have experienced some losses. All of us have experienced some losses, but we must remember that if we trust God, that we can understand and know that there will be a time that we can be reunited with those who we love.
All right.
Most important, the believer must step out on faith. And begin to reveal because he knows that she knows the joy of the salvation of the Lord.
Amen.
It won't be easy.
Mama.
But it can be done with God's help.
Yes.
I heard David say the other day, y'all. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me.
All right.
And when we look at our text, y'all, but with David, you need and I need to know that we are never alone. But when we look at our text focuses on Job, the man who experienced some storms in his life. But in the aftermath, he was highly favored by the Lord. Job is described as a righteous man. Yes, who lived in the land of Noah. He was subject to trial of faith. God allowed Satan, and y'all, God allowed Satan in our lives to test us. But God allowed Satan to test the strength of his conviction.
Now.
Sometimes when you are a strong believer, a strong saint of God, Satan will go around trying to mix with the heavenly beings in heaven.
Yes.
And God knows he's there and spots him out and asks him the question, what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to and fro,
Yeah.
seeking to destroy.
Uh-huh.
And God may ask the question, have you considered and replace your name with Job?
All right.
And
Yeah.
have you considered
Come on.
my servant?
Uh-huh.
And then you place your name there. And you need to understand, you need to be strong and faithful. Because Job was faithful and he had strength. But Satan described to God, you got a hedge around Job. I thank God, and you ought to thank God that he does put a hedge around us.
Yes, 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 he does.
And when he put a hedge around us, y'all, what do you mean, preacher? Y'all remember them times when you got to work and you don't know how you got there?
All right.
You can't remember what light you went through, was it red or green, and you got there and the light was red and you ran there. And God got you
Yes,
on
sir.
faith. He put a hedge around.
Yes.
And so the purpose of the test was to demonstrate that Job's faith in God. It ain't for God. God knows, but God do it so that you can understand where your faith lies. How strong you are in your faith.
Yes, yes.
And a lot of times, y'all, we are stronger than we think. So God tested, he allowed Satan to test our strength. The purpose is for us to demonstrate our faith was not artificial. Y'all do know you got some folks that are artificial.
Amen.
What they're doing.
Amen.
And they're only doing it so I can be seen.
Yes, sir.
See me, what I'm doing.
Well.
I'd rather have the person doing what they need to do and nobody's seeing, but God does.
That's
God
right.
will.
Amen. Amen.
And restore and bless them. And because God said that when you go into your secret room
Yes.
and begin to bless him and praise him and talk to him, he will openly reward you that which was in the closet that you prayed for. Amen. And you can pray for it. You don't have to let everybody know what you've been praying for. Just continue to pray. And then praise God when the blessing comes. Telling folks how good God is.
Yes, yes.
And so Satan, now when you say, and you put your name in place of Job, look out. Satan unleash an avalanche of hardship and tragedy on Job and his family that was struck by the storm. Members of the family were killed and his vast fortune and investment was gone, and his huge herd of cattle was removed from him. He was entirely in financial ruin. He was a rich man. Now he's in poverty. Yeah. He forsake not his God.
Not one time.
So when he first attacked him, Satan did not succeed. So when Satan does not succeed, he continued his warfare against you. So it may come in waves. So you need to be prepared that what's coming your way will come in waves, because when you hold fast to God's unchanging hand, Satan will continue to try to break your hand loose from God. He continue to come trying to break you down. break you down physically,
Yes.
emotionally.
Yes.
He want to break you down mentally. And he wants to break you down spiritually.
Amen. Amen.
And so he was in pain and he was impatient, but he never forsake the Lord, despite all of his losses,
Yes.
his sickness and possession, his family, and all of these things. Job said this word. And all of this, Job said not. Can you believe that? That he sinned not.
Yes.
So storms are part of our lives.
Yes. Oh, yes, they are.
Amen.
Yeah,
Storms
Lord. Yeah,
are
Lord.
part. In time of storm, believe how. Believe knowing how God and you can find refuge in God.
Yeah.
Amen.
The word of God says that God is our refuge and our strength.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Very
Yes.
present help in a time of trouble.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, y'all. This is to help us.
My God.
I know it can be difficult,
My God.
but this is to help us know that we are in the hand of God.
Yes. Yes.
And how we survive aftermath.
Yes, Lord.
Believer knows that God and knowledge and knows the way of God and continue to learn and trust
Yes.
in Him. They know, they understand. So storms are expected to be a part of our life. Losses and failures and frustration usually come, but when they come, there is an aftermath of the storm. There are several thoughts that we like to leave with you. Three thoughts. The first one is, all storms are not punishment.
Huh. Oh, that's good. That's all
Y'all
right.
know, folks, the first time bad stuff start happening,
Yes.
what did you do? What did they do? All
it is.
storms that we go through
Amen.
is not
Amen.
punished.
That's all right.
Amen.
A person must respond to the trouble that they have learned, and if they've been punished for sin, that's fine. But all storms, hear me, beloved, all storms are not punishment.
That's right. That's right.
They are
That's
normal.
good.
Yes.
That's
They're
good.
normal. If I live in the desert, it's not a punishment if I have a dust storm. You have dust storms in the desert.
Amen.
If I live in California and there's an earthquake, God is not punishing me for the earthquake because it's normal to have earthquake in California.
Yeah.
If I'm in Texas or Kansas and there are tornadoes, God did not punish me because of a tornado. It's normal to have tornadoes in Kansas and Texas.
All
If
right.
there's hurricanes going on, it's not a punishment if I live in Florida because Florida is normal to have hurricanes come through.
yes.
Amen. Amen.
So sometimes when we're going through the storm, it is normal and the things that we have to go. Y'all, we talked about on last week that I have some bad days and I have some good days.
All right.
But when I look things over, I find that my good days outweigh my
Yeah,
bad
they
days.
do.
Yes.
Beloved, I want us to know that we cannot know if we're having good days, we're not having bad days.
All right.
We
I
will
know.
have some bad
Yes.
days in our lives,
Yes.
even when we do everything the right way.
Yes.
God did not say that we will not have some stormy times.
My.
But what do we do in the aftermath of the storm? The storm is coming, y'all. Believe that you already been through some and you already came out. But what do we do after the storm? It says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning.
Yes.
The old warrior understood this principle when they sung and they said, I'm so glad that trouble don't last
My.
always.
Amen. Amen.
Are you going through a storm? It is not always condemnation because you're going through a storm. But neither is it a condition that will last always.
Yes, yes.
Financial difficulties may happen. Family problems may happen. Personal tragedy may happen. They all are storms. Even sadness and grief comes our way, and tears flows from our eyes, but they are not permanent. Yes, in the quiet quarters of your own mind, you ought to say, this too shall pass. And we ought to remind ourselves that no matter the frustration of the present, not only, but it will also pass. So we understand that all storms are not punishment.
All right.
And then the second point, there is a season for storms.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
Y'all, there is a season. I was thinking about when I was preparing, Lord, why am you sending me this way? Because in Bible study, I said I was going somewhere else. I read a scripture that we was going through, and I like this scripture.
Tell somebody.
Yeah, but God said, yeah, you can get that one another day.
Yeah.
So all I can do, y'all, is be obedient to his word, because God knows what his folks need when they need it. If I'm mindful and open up myself to be obedient to God, then God will let everything work itself out. So there is a storm, a season for storms. In the aftermath of a storm, many people question why the storm occurred without recognizing that there is a season for a storm. Since there is a season for storm, there should also be a season for preparation and restoration. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us that there is a season for everything under the sun, including storms. In the Bible, there are rainy or stormy seasons, and we too have seasons. And I come by to tell you that there are times when we will be hot and other times we will be cold. We know approximately when to expect cold in the winter, and we expect some heat in the summer. And we have an idea when the storm may come, but however the storm have a way of developing itself without us knowing when it will come. We who live in Texas know that a storm or thunderstorm can come out of nowhere. The sun is clear, but pressure begin to come around. You know that you get some pressure from Satan that try to press you down. And then you're trying to do the will of God, and it's pressing against you when storms come and arise in our lives. And so we need to be prepared for southern storms and southern wind that may come our way. And so in a time of storm, believers need to know that you have a refuge. And you can find a refuge in God. The word of God says, God is our refuge and our strength. A present help in a time of trouble.
Yes, Lord.
Y'all, yes, when you need him, when you are in trouble. When you feel that you're about to lose your mind. He's a present help in a time of trouble.
Yes, yes.
Believers know the way that to God is to continue to learn and trust Him, and He'll take us to higher ground when we trust Him.
Yeah.
And He'll help us to pick up the pieces and reach stand.
Yeah.
I come by to tell you that the first thing, that all storms are not punishment.
Yeah.
And then we need to understand that there is a season for storms.
Yes.
And then thirdly, y'all, prepare for the aftermath while the sky is clear.
All right, you
And
ready?
while it's clear,
Yes.
you need to prepare for the storm.
All right, Pastor.
Job was exposed to a great storm in his life.
Yeah.
He survived it because he prepared for the aftermath while the sky was still clear.
Yeah.
He had a large family, he had wealth, and he had good health, but all of that faded. But God, because he was humble in his doing, God restored everything that he had and made it better. So before the storm comes, y'all, you need to look at the sky, and it is clear. And when the sky is clear, we need to understand that may mean my possession, that may mean the stuff that I have. All of a sudden, that thing that I love, the thing that I have possessed, can be removed from me, suddenly taken away. And do I trust God? Did I trust that thing, that possession that I have? I can get a new car at a later date,
All right.
but I want to tell you that when I serve God, He'll make everything all right.
Yes, He will.
Today, a believer must realize that everything that we have belongs to God. And because it belongs to God, we need to treat it as such. God give it and the Lord take it away. Thank God, all right. We enjoy it for a while we have it, but we must know as long as the clouds are clear, we need to prepare ourselves. When the storm comes, there's going to be some troubling things after the storm, and we need to know how to pick that thing up. We need to know how to do what God asks us to do. In Mark 4:37 through 43, there is a description of a storm. It was complicated, for the waters was storming. Yes, it was, because in the Galilean Sea, the Dead Sea, it was below sea level, and every now and then, unpredictable storm would arise.